poo. Throw poo. All right.
Mhm.
Disclosures must be said. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. This information provided is surely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please always consult an investment professional before making any financial decisions, or just simply have our AI bot Pips do the work for you. I added that one. You like that, boss? All right. So
I do.
let's
Plug it more.
there you go. So let's talk about the where we make our money from, which is the stocks and foreign exchange, etc. The tail of the tape, we start off at the top of the show every time. So let's start off with the big news this past week, which is the stock crashed this last
It wasn't a
Thursday,
crash. It was
Friday,
more like
right?
a.
Okay, we're going to get color here in a minute. I'm just going to set it up here, though. But it's been called the yen carry trade. So a lot of people don't know what that term means. So if you would, Royce, tell us what yen carry trade is all about.
Well, they're blaming on a lot of things. However,
I got that coming. Yes.
however, this was inevitable. The yen has been basically moving the wrong direction, and I say the wrong direction because I wanted it to go down. Basically, every other pair versus the yen to go down at least since mid to late 2022. So, yay, some relief. But a lot of this stems from, at least in my professional, personal opinion, um, Japan finally getting a positive interest rate. They went from a negative interest rate to just a 0.1, and now they're at a 0.25. And basically, now Japan, instead of paying people to hold their money and take their money, they're actually charging people that they've lent their money out to. And now basically people are like, well, you know what? If you're charging us, here, you can have it back. So mass exodus, countries across the world, just like, you know what? Let's get rid of that. And Japan also divested almost $22 billion of its reserve USD. So in that push and that interest rate change, the everything versus the yen face planted pretty much because they came out swinging.
Right. So it's being called the Great Unwind. And I think that's because you have countries that always went to Japan for money, right? And they would spend their because it was cheap or
It was
cheap.
beyond cheap. It was negative. They would actually pay
negative.
them for taking it.
So please take our money. You know that meme. Please take all my money. It was basically that. And now, where are they going to go now? Because Japan and Switzerland evidently were the ones that everybody went to get cheap exchange.
Yeah.
and like you said, make money off of it. So, I mean, is it it's still the cheapest? Or is it going to be someplace else to go?
It's definitely not the cheapest.
Okay.
If I had to put someone that's not a reserve currency, but that's very close to being a reserve currency, believe it or not, New Zealand versus Australia. Those two are neck and neck trying to be the cheapest and most traded Forex pairs, besides obviously anything versus the dollar or the euro.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
So
Australia
and because of that, a lot of tanking. Like literally, if you were watching GBP JPY the last 15 days, over a 3,500 pip fall in the last 15 days. So it made it all the way from 208 all the way down to 188.
Gotcha. And dollar's creeping back up above 103, I think now. Right?
And remember, I told you that the dollar basically has to take a hit. It has to advance, but it has to advance slower than Japan for the scenario that basically that Pip sees coming